Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you guys my Buddy Club Coilovers. They're the racing spec. I bought these used. Not too bad of a shape. The fronts, as you can see here, still okay yet. A little bit of rust here and there, but not too bad overall. The rear, however, is you can see here the spring is pretty much rusted, so I'm still in the process of cleaning them up, and I'll show you guys that down the road. One thing I didn't notice when I bought these was that it's missing, as you can see down here, this is a damper adjuster. This one has it, that's the front one. This other front one, however, as you can see here, it's missing. When I bought it, I forgot to look at it and just realized not too long ago that they didn't have the dampening adjustment. So I did some research and was able to order another adjustment knob. It just came in today, and I'll show you guys right here. I picked up two just in case I mess up with one. So I bought these off Buddy Club. They were $15 each. So I'm gonna try to attempt to put those on. Hopefully you can get it in there, and I'll kind of show you guys that too. Alright guys, it's the following day. Yesterday when I was putting the adjustment knob on, I wasn't doing a pretty good job of explaining to you guys, so I'll take a minute or two to explain to you guys how I put it in there. In order for you to put the knob in there, you got to make sure you bottom out the Allen bolt that's inside of the adjustment knob here. Once it bottoms out, what I realized was you got to go back 1 or 2 turns. This will allow the dampening knob to sit in there just right, because when I had it all the way bottom out and when I put the knob all the way on there, I was having a very hard time trying to adjust the dampening, or it would not even allow me to turn. Then when I bottom it out, rotate it back up 2 or 3 turns, I was able to sit the adjustment knob in there just right, and now I'm able to dial it stiff, full stiff, and full soft. So that's the key to doing this, and take your time. What I used was a number 3 Allen head and a number 8 wrench. Basically, it's kind of tough to do with the fronts because of how the dampening knob sits inside there, but it's still doable. You don't have to make any modification, especially on the RSX. You can still turn it. It'll just be a little bit more time consuming because you can't get the thing to sit right, but it's still doable. So okay, now that I got the adjustment knob or the dampening knob on the front coil, now I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping this rear one As you guys can see, the spring is pretty rusted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna take the spring out. I'm gonna sand it down, and I'm gonna repaint the spring, and then grease everything back up with NICs, and then show you guys how I put them back together again. The front ones, however, they're not too bad, so I'm not gonna be painting them. Maybe just touch up here and there. Down here you can see the brackets are kind of rust are showing through, but overall the front one isn't as bad as the back ones. Alright, so in order to take off the spring, it's pretty simple on the Buddy Club, especially on these RSX models. You just pop that ring off, take the top one off, it should come out, slide right out. Once both these are out, the spring should just fall right off. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. Alright guys, there you go. So that's how you take them off. Spring is out. Alright, so here's the spring off by itself. So you guys can see it's pretty much all rusty inside and out. What I'm going to do now is try to sand it the best I can. I'm not going to go for a showroom look. It's just more to make it look better than what it is now. So once I get it sanded, I'm going to repaint it again. And I'll show you guys once I get that done. Alright guys, just got done sanding. Looks better than before. So, like I said earlier, I'm not going to go for a showroom look. Just mainly to sand it down so that it doesn't have rough surfaces. So, now next step is I'm going to go ahead and start priming it, and then painting it. And I'll show you guys the final product once I'm done with it. Alright, so here's the final product, the finished product. It's not the Buddy Club blue color, but it's gonna go underneath the car anyway, so as long as it's got some coating on there, that's all that matters. So it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks better than having a rusty, nasty look to it. I'd rather take this over rust any day. So after this, just gonna put it all back together, and I'll show you guys how I put them all back together. Should be pretty easy, same way as how we took it off. Alright, so I'm gonna start applying NICs on here. That way down the road, when I ever want to adjust it again or adjust the ride height, I don't have to worry about it seizing up. So what I'm going to do is apply a little bit of NICs on here and spin this rod or this adjuster all the way around. That way it spreads the NICs in each of these little groove here. So alright, so as you can see, NIC is all spread throughout. So we should be okay. It shouldn't seize on me ever again. So now, since everything is pretty much prepped and all good to go, I'm going to show you guys how to put these back together. One thing to remember is make sure this little plate here stays up there. And then there's another plate that's stuck on, that's part of the spinning thing here. So make sure those two plates stay where it's supposed to be at. So there's the plate. There's the other plate up there. Now pretty much what's going to happen is the spring's going to go inside there. It's going to sit up against that plate. And the spinning thing is going to go on the bottom. It's going to sit kind of like that. So I'll show you guys how. Alright guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but to drop the height in the back, I think you measure from inside there, and depending on what ride height you would like it to set to, just go off that measurement. I'm going to drop it about 2.5 inches in the back and 3 inches in the front. So that comes out to be around 4.13, and in millimeters it's 105. So like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is based off on how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I got the drop height set. Hopefully that's the right way of doing it. Otherwise I can always fix it down the road, or once I put on the car, if it's not the correct height or if it's too high, too low, I can always take it off and adjust it, but that's the way I'm gonna go with. So it's all locked in place now. So the next thing is I'm gonna put the spring back in there and then put the other two locking perch in there and set the preload. The preload for this is 150 millimeters. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright guys, now that I have these in here, the spring back in, now I just gotta set the preload on the rear, measure from on top of the spring to the bottom of the spring. It's gotta be 150 millimeters. For the front, it's 200 millimeters, so just measure that, set the preload, tighten that, and then lock it with the other locker right there. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. That's it. Once you're done, just lock the two ends together. Preload is set. It's locked tight, so the coil should be ready to install. So here we have it. Two front coils and the two back ones. They're all ready to go. Preload's all been set. Height's been adjusted. Again, I'm doing a 3-inch drop in the front and a 2.5 in the rear. So we'll see how that looks. If it's too high, you can always adjust it. But they're all prepped and done. One thing I forgot to mention, to set the dampening on the rear, there's a little knob, dampening knob up here. Turn it clockwise to make it stiff, counterclockwise to make it soft. Right now it's all in full stiff, and then in the front it's down underneath. In the back it's on top. back. It's underneath the coil down here. And right here. So that's it. This concludes this video, and in the next one I'll show you guys how I install these on the car. So I'll see you next time.